Hey, I'm RC and welcome to the episode 9 about creating a game in HTML5. So if you haven't watched the last episode, then I would highly recommend you to do so by clicking the annotation on the screen. So for this episode, this is what I have in mind. So first we will add the score on the top right corner of the screen, and then we will add a new type of entities that will be upgrades. And when the player touches an upgrade, it will increase its score. And finally, we'll add bullets, so the player will be able to shoot bullets, and if a bullet collides with an enemy, it will kill that enemy. Okay, so first of all, let's work on displaying the score. So first, we create a new variable called score, which is 0. Then in our update loop, which is called every frames, we increase the frame count by 1, and we will also increase the score by 1. And right there we draw the player HP. You can simply copy paste that, rename it score, and then we display the score at position 230. This is the X, this is the Y, and there we pretty much have it. There's one small thing that we need to do too, is when we start a new game, it reset the score to 0. Okay, so this is how it looks. So as you can see, we are drawing the score at the top of the screen. And now it was pretty easy to add. So the next thing we will add is upgrades. So every, let's say, 4 seconds, there will be a orange dot that will appear. If the player touched that orange dot, then it will receive a bonus to its score. So let's work on that. Okay, so the first thing we will do is to add a new list, which will be the upgrade list. Right now I know it seems a bit weird that we are calling this an upgrade, but later on it will make more sense when we'll have multiple type of upgrades. So we got our upgrade list. Let's make the constructor for the upgrade. The constructor is basically the skeleton, the structure. For example, the constructor for enemy is this, so we know that an enemy has those attributes. And now for our upgrade, this is the attributes it will have, so exactly the same. We will change absolutely nothing except this, that will be orange. We could change enemy 3 by upgrade, but it changed absolutely nothing. It's a local variable, it could be whatever, and it will still work. And right there we need to rename this to upgrade list. So if we call that function, it will create an entity which is pretty much the same than an enemy, except that it's in the upgrade list and it's orange. Now we will create a new function for randomly generating that upgrade, and it will be a bit different. So for the X and Y, it will stay the same. For the height, it will always be 10, so it will be a small dot. ID will be randomly generated. Now for the speed will be 0. We don't want the upgrade to move, so it will stay at the same spot. And here we just rename it upgrade. So as you can see, there are parameters that we could simply hard code it here. So put 0 and 0. But in the long term, you will see that it's a lot easier to keep the same skeleton all the time. Same function, it makes things easier. So I guess we got our randomly generated upgrade. Now we need to specify what to do with those upgrades. So if we go in our update loop, right there, every 4 seconds we randomly generate an enemy. Now what we could do is every, let's say, every 3 seconds we randomly generate a upgrade. Something like that. And finally we need to draw those upgrades. So right there, I'm going to loop through the list of upgrades and update them. So if you remember correctly what upgrade entity does, it updates the entity position, which will do absolutely nothing for our upgrade, but it's still viable code. It will just increase by 0 and so on. So it works. And then the next part is drawing the entity. Because we are using the same code than the enemies, then we also don't have to change anything there. So I guess we can just save and check how it looks. Okay, so if we go here and we refresh the page, this is how it looks. So after 3 seconds, there should be a orange dot on the screen. The player can go over it because I'm not testing the collision with the player, but they are getting drawn. Now one little issue is that if we die, the dot stays there, so that's something we will need to change. And we will also need to to test the collision. So let's work on that. So right there we upgrade the entity, and then right after that what we should be doing is testing the collision between the player and our upgrade entity, and if they are colliding we will increase the score by 100, and we will also remove this entity. So to remove something you just call delete the object and the key. So this will remove this entity from the list. So yeah, like I said, you use delete when you only want to delete one element inside that object. If you want to delete the whole element, then you just say equal to empty object. So this will delete everything, while this will only delete the attribute key, which is the one that collide with the enemy. But we will use this here. So when a new game will start, we want to delete the whole list of upgrades. So let's just check how it looks. Okay, so this is how it looks. So we got our orange dot. If I touch one, then my score increased by 1000 and the dot disappear. And if I suicide myself, then all the dots are gone. So it's perfect. Okay, so now what we will do is to add bullets to our game. So projectile that the player shoot. So to make it simple, the bullet projectile won't be triggered by a key press. It will be simply random, so every second the player will shoot a bullet in a random direction. We will implement that, and then later on in another video we will add the keyboard input into the game. So to do that, first we need to add a new list, which will be the bullet list. It will be pretty similar to the upgrade list, except it's called bullets. So right here we just copy paste this and we rename that to bullet. There we go. The color will be black instead of orange, and we will want to add it to our bullet list. And now here, when we randomly generate a bullet, the X, we don't want the X to be random, we want the X to be on top of the player, so the same than the player. Now for the Y, the same than the player. I 10 with 10, it seems correct. And now for the speed, it's a bit trickier. Okay, so first what we will do is to find out at what angle the player is shooting the bullet. So for now it will be random. So later on we will add the fact that it's being shoot at the right position. But for now it's just a random angle between 0 and a 360. So if this is 0, it's 0. If this is 1, then it's 360. And then for the speed X, it's simply mat cost of the angle. If you have done some trigonometry, you know what I'm doing. If you have not, then go find a little tutorial about that. So if you do the cos of the angle, it will give you the speed X, and if you do the sin of the angle, it will give you the speed Y. Now it should be working in theory, but in reality it does not work, because computer expect you to use radiant angle, and what we are using here is degree angle. So degree range from 0 to 360 to do a full circle, while in radiant it's 0 to 2 pi. So what we need to do is to divide it by 180 and then multiply it by mod pi. This is really complex, I know, but if you don't understand, just do that. You only have to do it once and everything will work. And then we'll rename that to bullet. And I guess that's pretty good. Now the next step we will need to do is to randomly generate them. So let's say every second, so every 20 frames, and this is 3 seconds, we will randomly generate a bullet. There we go. And then we need to draw the bullet. That's another thing. So we will loop through every bullet in the bullet list. And we will upgrade the entity, so update the position and then draw the entity. Okay, so this is how it looks so far. So as you can see, every second the player is shooting a bullet in a random direction. We can also touch the upgrade to increase our score. So I guess that will be pretty much it about this video. I hope you liked it. And in the next episode, what we'll do is we will add a logic for the bullets. So right now when the bullet touch an enemy, nothing happened, but what we will do is that the enemy will disappear. We will also make it so when the game reset, the bullet disappear, and we'll also add a timer to the bullets, because otherwise they stay on the screen forever. So So thanks a lot for watching and see ya!